All right, everyone, here we are, 12 noon, Sunday, August 27th. And I have been on board for the last 10 minutes with Beloved, and she got me going. She got me starting to laugh. And this is our Sunday morning Zoom call for our ministry, psychiatricsobriety.com. Every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time, we host a Zoom call, which kind of comes and goes. Some people come, some people go. You know, we just let it evolve organically. What is it? Who are we? And why we do a symbol? What's it all about? Well, we're here to untangle ourselves from the mental illness hypothesis. We're here to support, encourage, and love each other in a community regarding all these mental illness stories, all these mental illness diagnoses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I am. I've said this the last Zoom call, and I've said this one. I got some flack. Understandable. You know, you call yourself a healer. Well, actually, let me backtrack. I am a wounded healer. All right, there's a difference between a healer and a wounded healer. A wounded healer is not someone with a bunch of credentials, but it's someone who's descended and ascended. All right. So I got to make that point very clear too before people begin to think I'm marketing myself as being someone who I'm not egoically. Am I all totally well assembled? In this moment, I am. And that's all I will ever proclaim. But there's some magic that takes place every Sunday morning in these Zoom calls where we all become well assembled. Well, I become well assembled, and if we fall apart, that's well assembled too, because what's fallen apart is not worthy of assembly, and what comes together is building a house on rocks. So it's been 25 years on psych meds, folks. 25 years on benzodiazepines, mood stabilizers, anti-anxiety, antipsychotics, you name it, sleeping pills, and don't forget about the drugs and alcohol. So I call it psychiatric sobriety for a reason, because basically we're not here to really complicate things, but we're here to follow the basic parameters of the 12 steps. Just keep it real simple. Do we always keep it simple? No. A lot of us are Course in Miracles students, so we unwind ourselves. We don't heal from the mental illnesses. We unwind the stories and the beliefs in mental illnesses, and the butterfly starts to emerge from a cocoon. The mental illnesses are not a problem to be fixed. They're a cocoon that needs to be endured for the winter of our transformation. I want a new narrative, all over the internet and especially in this ministry, so that when we stop trying to fix it and allow it and understand that it's simply a dark night of the soul, which is how I emerged from mine, then what I call emergence is just the next organic byproduct step. All right, so I'm very careful with this ministry because at first, people wanted to know how did you get off your pills? How did you get off your pills? How did you get off your pills? And they wanted an allopathic model, and I finally just threw in the towel and said, this is about mental illness. It's not about pills. But how did I get off my pills? I didn't get off the pills. I just started going in the direction of faith and trust, spiritual direction, and the pills got off me. So this is basically my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm on board with Beloved, and I want to. We already got a topic for the Zoom call. It's going to make us both, start laughing. But before we start the Zoom call, she's already laughing. This is not about us. This is about what comes through us. So the healer's prayer, which comes from the Course in Miracles, goes like this. We are here only to be truly helpful. We are here to represent him or her who sent us. We do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he or she who sent us will direct us. We are content to be wherever he or she wishes, knowing he or she goes there with us. And we will be healed as we let him or her teach us how to heal. Now, we thought we had a topic for the Zoom called Clouds and Sky, but then all of a sudden that just like washed aside when we decided that we were going to do another one. And this is really good. If I haven't been kicked off YouTube yet, this one's going to get me kicked off YouTube. Helen Sutton was bipolar. I'm sorry. Somebody had to say it. in a good way. Listen, yeah, well, and remember, on that same note, if Jesus were alive today, they would lock him up in a psych ward and put him on medication. It's this whole thing is upside down, folks. What they said was what's going wrong with us was actually what's going right with us. Let's take the Poseidon, let's upend the Poseidon so it's no longer the Poseidon adventure and the Poseidon. What would be the opposite of adventure? But I don't know. Too much into my 1970s movies. Yeah, because she was moody. She had different sides to her. She was moody. She was cantankerous, and then when that was caught with the love of Ken Wapnick, then she could go into her depth, her channeling, her brilliant scribing capabilities, and bring forward for us a document into this dimension, which is just taking all of us out of these mental illness stories. If it hadn't have been for that document, I'd still probably be kind of a comatose human being. And I'm grateful for the Course in Miracles. Beloved and I talk about it every time. That's how we met. We met the Course in Miracles. I think that's how we met. What are your thoughts? I've gone on for 6 minutes already.
I don't think we met over the course, but we met over psychiatric sobriety and talking about mental illness. And I think it's so funny as I read Absence of Felicity and I hear Tam Morgan. She has a podcast where she talks. She knew Helen. Her mother is Judy Scutch. So she grew up watching all this happening and everything, and all the consensus. And it's so funny how they tiptoe around. Well, Helen was a handful. She could be challenging. Oh, she could be. They say all these things so nicely, but since I feel such a kinship with Helen, I said, oh my goodness, she sounds bipolar. Because I just understand the moodiness and the shifts and trauma and the fight that goes on, and certainly in my mind, between truth and illusions. And imagine you're getting this whole podcast is for emergence from pharmaceuticals, mental illness narrative, however you're going to, right? So we're talking about this emergence, but it's not an easy path. And this woman was given a whole roadmap over 7 years and couldn't follow it. I mean, she studied it. They all studied it. Bill, Ken, Judy, Helen, they all studied it together. They did the workbook together. They did all this stuff, right? And so it's not just because you have the words come through you that you understand it and can apply it. I mean, that's what I learned. So I feel like, wow. I mean, I wish they would say Helen was bipolar, like they said Bill's gay, and nobody threw the course out because Bill was gay. They didn't tiptoe around there, but they won't, just because, not that we believe in bipolar, but because for those of us who've had these diagnoses of mental illness, everybody has it, is what I'm trying to say. Whether you get the diagnosis or not, you're crazy if you believe in the illusion, and you're sane when you start having a roadmap out. To me, the course is a roadmap. That's what I follow. I ground myself in it, because if I didn't have a roadmap, I'd be still teaching myself and pulling from this philosophy and this belief, and so the course is consistent. And whatever it is that you're going to use as your roadmap, stay with it and be consistent and apply it. And if it works for you on that path, we're not just saying Course in Miracles is the only way. Kenneth and I are using it. it worked well for me for bipolar. I would agree with Kenneth. Without A Course in Miracles, I was emerging, but I certainly didn't have a roadmap until I had a course. I didn't have a roadmap until I had the Course in Miracles, and I applied myself, and I studied, and I did the workbook, and I've been doing it 20 years or so. So it's been a journey, and really now it makes the most sense ever. So it doesn't matter where. I think anybody who starts now, you're just going to be faster at it. You're going to get it faster because the consciousness has been elevated. You know, when I picked it up, it was very difficult to understand. Now, with all the consciousness and the truth that's out there and the frequency, I believe, you know, more people certainly can get into it through Gary Renard's books. You know, many course writers are there's many great course writers as well.
You said so much. I wish I had, you know, a tablet in front of me to take notes, but even when I take notes, you know, I can't read my own writing. That actually puts a lot to rest here in my heart, and I'll tell you why. You know, what you said was something, it finally clicked. You know, we all know that Helen said, I know the Course is true, I just don't believe it. Well, based in the other truth, it's not a secret, is that Helen scribed the Course word for word, but she didn't practice the Course, which means she studied it, but she didn't do it. Maybe there's more to that equation, beloved. Maybe Helen studied it, but wasn't ready to do it. Maybe Helen studied it, but couldn't do it. Now, let me share with this video why that puts me to feel, you know, sort of a safety relief valve, because I'm a smart guy, and you're smart too. I mean, and the Course is for, you know, intellectuals. Perfect. I love the Course. I can't get enough of it. I study. When it comes time to actually do it, I mean, I've had to forgive. Now I can watch. I say, look, I can count, you know, 5. I mean, this is the difficult thing about having intelligence, and even more the difficult thing about having creative intelligence. You know, got intelligence and creative intelligence. It can create beauty, and then it also creates a nightmare. It takes it, you know, I guess that's the definition of bipolar. So where some people can, this is what I sense. A lot of people say, you know, oh, you know, they make the formula sound so, you know, doable over there at the monastery. Oh, if you have a grievance, just go into the chapel and sit with it until you can. Well, that's fine if you have a grievance. What happens when you got 6 of them, and all the grievances are talking all at the same time to each other? It's not possible to sit with the grievance singular. I can take a walk, which is what this is what my practice looks like, and then I repeat, kind of like a mantra. You know, a lot of Course teachers, you know, aren't very big on mantras. Well, maybe we need to go back to mantras, because Keith Kavanaugh's given us one. I am not the crazy, insane voice talking to itself inside of my head. And like I say every time on this call, I say, and then it's trust. Okay.
Finish that first one that he says. I'm not the insane voice that's talking inside my head. I'm the one listening to it. No, I'm the listener. I'm not the talker. That's the rest of what that sentence.
What I need to share that, do I believe it at the time? Of course not. Do I know it's true? Yes. Am I willing to practice it? I have to. I'm going to, which is the formula for willingness. And maybe that's where Helen Schuckman found herself. The world found Helen to be an enigma. I mean, I could host these Zoom calls, you know, and have people come on board and just, you know, watch them light up. And I take outreach calls and I hear people light up, you know. So I've read Absence from Felicity, and maybe it's time I pick it up again. And you know, maybe there's no accidents that you brought that into my you know, awareness this morning. It's time to learn more about Helen. You know, I've as if there's a right way to do the Course. how now what wouldn't that be an ego perception that there is a right way to do the course? I think I've had to listen to hundreds, not thousands of hours of David Hoffmeister video, because he's not talking, he's talking from a whole different place. And finally realize that it doesn't matter. None of this matters as long as we're happy in this moment.
And we're happy because none of this matters.
It's terrible. It's a terrible conundrum for the training. Terrible conundrum for the training that was, it wasn't education, it was indoctrination. And that's coming from someone with, a bachelor's in finance and a master's in architecture. that's why I relate to David so much. He talks about 10 years of university. Well, buddy, we can go neck and neck with that. It's right after I finished that master's degree, thinking, all right, now that I've walked off the stage with this diploma, now life begins. Jesus said, no. Now that you walked off that stage, stop it. Well, I wasn't listening to Jesus. So boom, boom, crash, boom, crash. That's when the meds really ramped up. When I walked off that stage, I was 35 years old and I have a master's degree in architecture. Now I can write my own script. Oh boy, the next 10 years were Mr. Toad's wild ride until I can't write my own script.
The script is written.
It was. I mean, this is what you and I have been, part of the reason you and I have been joined us. I'm 56, and now I know what sanity is. I actually never knew. I knew sanity as a 5 to 6-year-old. So 50 years of insanity to come back. Hey, listen, I'm grateful as well. I've talked to several people in the last week, 2 weeks, gay men my age. Very few of us still alive. And I realized I was spared for a purpose. No accident, I'm still here. When the days get really rough, I have to remind myself, it may be rough now, but you've been through a lot rougher. So they don't hold a candle to the.
But the point is to grow through what we go through. We've got to grow out of this vulnerability to illusions, to what's not true, to the fear. This fear thing puts us at 2 years old again. Anytime fear strikes, from whatever age you are, you turn into this, oh my God, what's it? You turn irrational. And anybody listening to this knows that if they're in a place of calm, it's much easier to handle whatever's happening in your life than when you're in a place of fear. It's not what's happening in your life. It's not what's happening. Or like Kenneth said, you have this master's. I mean, who of us haven't reached the top of our mountain only to find out that wasn't it? I mean, the ego says seek, but do not find. You're never going to find it. We're trying to save y'all time here. It's not, I don't care whatever, that special relation, that person you're looking that's going to love you. No, all this stuff is just for us to grow. We're going through it to grow through it. And if we don't grow, we'll be in the same class next year or next month. You don't get out of it. You have to graduate.
Catherine, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. I didn't have a gallery view on. I've been on now. Or did you just come on?
Hi, you talking to me?
Yeah, did you just come on?
I've been here for.
Oh, I didn't have gallery view on. I didn't see you there. we had a funny, not funny. Well, all right, we'll come on. This one may finally get me kicked off YouTube. But it's worth discussing. Beloved and I are course students. Helen Schuckman was bipolar, but in all respect, because Well, anyway, what's going on, Catherine? How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, I didn't really know what you guys were talking about, but I'm a big ball of freak out. I'm all registered for school in Toronto, and I still didn't find a place here to sublet. And I have to leave here on Thursday. I have nowhere to go and nowhere to bring my stuff yet. Still hoping for a miracle. So yeah, I feel crazy. I feel like I'm already homeless and all this fear shit is going on. And the thing that really sucks is I don't have a backup plan. Like, I don't even have anybody I could stay with. That kills me. And the only place I have to go is I went on CouchSurfing, the website couchsurfing.com, and I found someone in Toronto some stranger I could stay with on his couch for 2 nights. So yeah, anyway, everything's crazy right now. I just can't believe I gave my notice when I was accepted into school back in April. Like it's just the way it is right now. But yeah, I'm like, I don't feel well. It's a lot. It's a lot. And of course, it's bringing up all the insecurities that I've ever, yeah, it's just bringing up everything. And no, it's very overwhelming. I just, I don't know. I'm glad to leave here, but I just need a place to go. Like I wasn't able to secure a place in Toronto because I don't even want to talk about it anymore. The one thing I was listening to Matt Kahn last night, he really helped me. He did like a healing transmission, and he was talking about the witness and how, if you're dealing with the smaller I, you're never going to get anywhere. You always have to come from the perspective of the bigger I. And he was talking about confusion, saying like, I know a bunch of you are confused right now. But all that confusion, if you just observe it from the witness, it's being transformed into clarity. And he's saying just to shine the light on it and watch it move into clarity. It was really cool the way I could send you the link. And chaos is being transformed into peace. Doubt is being transformed into trust. So he's just saying, watch the light and help it change, like get out of the way and just allow it to all change into what it's trying to change into. So that helped me get out of my crazy last night. Yeah. And just like listening to all these other people who are struggling right now, it really helped. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got.
I was a recipient of Matt Kahn's teachings for a very long time.
Yeah.
I can't explain when a teacher arrives. I'm supposed to hear the message. I can hear it from that teacher. And I'll wake up one morning and I can't hear him anymore. And I'll try and force it.
Yeah.
But then another window opens and another teacher. I mean, in the end, it's all the same message. But I'm thrilled, Catherine, that this is like what I want to do in this ministry. I want to point out maybe somebody might, I call them nuggets that others might miss. What I'm most excited about is that you can hear Matt Kahn right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because sometimes I just can't even hear, and it freaks me out. Shut it off.
And I was, I did the same thing. As soon as I could hear a teacher, I want to share the teacher with everyone else. And I kept sending them the website, here's the video, until I realized that these were from me.
Right.
And I really began to develop a trust that it's like the healer's prayer. What do we say? It was the healer's prayer that I say at the beginning of every every one of these calls. This is the hardest part. What's being asked of us. We've got to trust in this moment right now.
I missed the prayer. Can you repeat the prayer? Sorry.
Well, you can go back to the archive. It's the
All right.
put it in the description line, but this is the hardest part that's being asked. The only way to emerge is right now. And that's what, I mean, Matt Kahn brings that back too. Our planning mind is unhelpful. Our planning mind, our strategizing mind, which is, Beloved and I were talking about, my 10 years of formal education. That's planning and strategy. That's how I got sick. Planning and strategizing. And the only thing that's gonna emerge me out of this is love, and love's only gonna come right now. This is a whole new way of thinking, and it's not a way of thinking; it's a way of surrendering, a way we've been taught to think.
Surrender is a good word. I love what you said, Kathy. I love what you said. I love what you said. Matt Kahn said that you heard that you're not that small I. That saved me too, because all of us have been, of course, that's why we're here. We've thought we're this small I, being terrified and vulnerable and homeless and jobless and whatever is lessness, lackness that we have been frightened by, whatever monsters, and real. And to separate the witness from the thoughts, feelings, and emotions. You're not. You're the one witnessing it. And it's really a hard one. It's so subtle. And it's because we think we're a wave without the ocean. We think we're a sunbeam without the sun. When you're alone, when you're a wave and you don't feel your ocean, you're fucked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look at that. That don't even make no sense. How do you even see a wave without the damn? Oh, it don't. That's when you're crazy town. That's when I'm in crazy town.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm this wave, disconnected. I'm all alone, and all the whole this doesn't happen, and you go crazy. This is why a recipe for craziness. And whatever diagnosis, if you get caught in the system and they give you a label. Many people don't get a label, but it's all the same thing. Fear is crazy. Fear is insanity.
Yeah.
Anybody listening? Fear means you are in crazy town. It's not helpful. Never, ever has it been helpful. And I know it's hard. I mean, really, it's hard to stand up to fear when fear has a good hold on you. And all your reasoning says, oh my God, there's a reason for me to be scared. We can't be up here. Kenneth was saying that. He's like, how do we get out of here practicing the course? We go into our heart and practice the course. I practice it through my heart. Through my heart has faith. My head has no faith. My head has logic. My head has caterpillar logic. My head has no faith, no belief, no grace, no nothing. But my heart has given me grace. When my head has no answers to the predicament I find myself in. And when you don't, I mean, the surrender's coming. Surrender or crazy, that's your choice. Run around, what am I gonna do? Watch and see. When you don't know what to do, you have to surrender. That's what happens. And I think that's the most terrifying moment we all come to. Whew. And believe me, I mean, it's hard to believe, but I have been where you're at. And the terror I know intimately. I was, and I could tell you a story about it. It doesn't matter, because you're in your own nightmare, so you can just, but you know what? I just had to surrender because there was nothing else I could do. What was I going to do? Nothing. I couldn't stay. I had to leave. I didn't know where I was going. My shit was right next to me on the curb. I remember Katie, Byron Katie. She took somebody through it. She said, okay, see yourself. You're on the curb. Your stuff's next to you. What's happening? You got a place to sit? I mean, I was mad when she went through it. I'm like, how can you say that, bitch? You're rich. You got all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Right? You're Byron Katie. You don't know what it feels like to be, No, but she knows what terror feels like. It don't matter the situation. The eagle got many faces.
Yeah.
All of it's the nightmare, but we get sparkles, or the frame looks so sparkly. That master's degree in architecture, whatever you said, that was all sparkly. The content was the same. Not going to get you to heaven, but it looked good. Look good in this caterpillar world. But even we're not this thing. We're gonna have to attach back to our ocean. We're gonna have to attach back to the sun. We are not out here out dangling on a fishing line for sharks to jump up and eat us. This is not where we're at. And until we get out of this mental illness, that is mental illness. When you terrify yourself constantly, that's mental illness. They should have some kind of mental illness called terrorizing self. I don't know, some special name for it, because that's what it all comes down to. So it's hard for us to hear it. It's hard for us to take responsibility. It's hard for us to rein in that mind that has not been trained. This is why, of course, this mind training. When you're in these situations and your mind's just taking you down where you don't want to go and follow, and you just keep manufacturing more chaos in your head, and you don't want, no, you're not going to find no answers there. It is answered. And faith is going to give you the grace to allow what is coming for you to unfold. Fear is going to cut it. You won't even see the gift. It could be on your fucking lap in front of your face right now, and you can't see it because you're all in your head. Oh my God, you ain't got no faith. I know it's hard to hear. All situations call for faith. Every trauma, every this, that, war, chaos, all this stuff calls for help. We have to open ourselves to help. For help, we have to have faith. We have to believe God loves us. We are not here alone. We've never been not taken care of. We've always been provided for. There is only love. Beyond all the things we think we need and want, have to have, and to survive in this world. Honey, this story don't end. This story keeps going on in lifetime after lifetime. Fucking A. Oh, I gotta get a job. I gotta have play. At some point we just get tired and we surrender and watch the movie that's already been filmed. It's already done. Watch and see what happens. You don't get to know. You can't turn around that corner and see because you don't have the faith for it. So now you're just gonna have to wait either in a puddle of fear, or you can be in the grace of faith and see what unfolds. Really, this is what Matt Kahn's saying. You're the big eye. You've never been this little eye that you think you are at the mercy of whatever, and you have to. We don't know. We don't know nothing. We don't know what the script is written, the movie's shot and filmed. We're watching it. Be a spectator, and believe me, that is what's called practicing the course. This is why I do this mind training. This is as important, more important than my physical training. I'm a fitness professional, so I got to train every day fit up my body, but my mind is the most important thing. This train will take you in a train wreck but your heart slows his head down. Go in your heart, Captain. Sing from your heart. Feel, cry all the tears, throw the tantrum, trash your apartment. I don't care what you need to do. Get that shit out. Go outside. Don't get arrested, but go outside, dance, go feel some joy, come generate some frequency, and feel your angels come. They are all there, but they cannot come in to close windows, close blinds, close doors. You have to be willing and have the courage to open and know you are loved. No, there's no exception. No, all God wants is our happiness. That is all we're here for. All of it is for our happiness. Yeah, just a love thing. And I know we're gonna see you shining. And and for these tears to be shared here on this platform is a gift to who's ever suffering out there. We know we love her. We know all the love we have is for Catherine. It's not for her to find a place, it's for her to find her peace. With regards whatever's happening. All of us want that. Regardless whatever's happening around us. We want to find our peace. We want to get back to our peace again. And that's what God always has for us. Always has for us. Not fear. Nobody's waiting to, make you suffer more. We're just here to love and let it go and see what's around that corner. But if you can't see it, then you're going to have the faith for it. The faith that it is love. And it is going to be so much better than you thought. So much better than the couch surfing. You don't need to know couch surfing. No. You're going to fall into arms where you need to be. Yeah. You're going to let us know. You're going to tell us about how you found your faith, how you went through that fear. And your spirit said no. Your angels, all of came around you to give you all the help and inspiration and guidance. We all have guidance. Everything's coming perfectly. But the script is written. You just have commentary. That's what Keith Kavanaugh's always telling us. Who cares about what you're saying? That voice in your head. That voice in your head is just nonsense. Not you. You listening to it. Stop listening to that stupidness. Ain't taking you nowhere you want to go. Put some good stuff. Sing. Go in your heart. Dig up some loving feelings. Connect to some beautiful animals. Whatever can bring you babies. Whatever you like that just makes you laugh and giggle. Just find that space. Find it. You got it, Catherine. You got it, Kathy. I know you got that beautiful voice. And I bet your beautiful voice does for you like it does when I dance does for me. It makes me feel so much better. You're beautiful. You're so beautiful.
It's so hard to feel that like connection and love. And
it is. You can't feel it in fear. Your ego is not for your ego. Your ego don't want to feel it. Your ego, you think you're suffering, Kathy, right now. You're not. You are perfectly whole, safe. We all are. We're all not what the suffering thing we think we are. That's the illusion. I know it's hard. It seems impossible where you're at. That's why we're here. Because I know it's possible. I see who you are. I know you're not all that stuff. I know you're not. You just need a little self-discipline. You gotta straighten up here. This is for you. You're worth it. You are worthy. You are the light. We need you. We need your light. We need your love. We need you. You're important. You're essential. You are the light. Yeah.
Catherine, whatever happened with your housing has already been. Where are you supposed to go? Is it on? We're in Canada. You're supposed to go in Canada. Where's that?
So I'm in Ottawa, and school is in Toronto, which is 4 hours away.
It's been very difficult for me, to really stay silent because you posted, for financial help using this ministry. When what I'm inviting everyone to do with this ministry is to surrender form outcome, which is all mental illness, which is where beloved and I found our emergence, surrender all form outcome, and put our energetic resources into the perception of what's happening. So, you know, I didn't know how else to say it, and, you know, kindly. Maybe this is the kindest way I can address it now. What happens in form has already been scripted. We have no control if emergence is our priority. And it's all right if it's not. Education may be a priority over emergence. This has to come first, though. I'm speaking for myself, too. I'm in the middle of this with you because I'm in Pittsburgh. I got back from Mexico, and guess what I did? I started putting work first. And I got excited. I can start earning money again. And guess where I've been the last 5 days? Flat on my back. I slipped a disc.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, everything that beloved was sharing with this YouTube archive, I've had to eat with some pretty humble pie because I've been very angry. I barked at 2 friends this morning already. I had to get some help this morning from a 3rd friend. Number 1, to forgive myself because I wanted to get back on the horse. Three quality jobs landed in my plate, and I could bring the savings up into reserves, and that would ameliorate my fears. And the 3rd friend I talked to said, "No, Kenneth, that will not ameliorate your fears. You're frightened no matter what, and you have the belief that you know more money, you know, is going to like you have the belief that a place to live will be the answer." Catherine, we're going through the same thing. Let's share in the solution right now is probably, you know, more wisely put from Matt Kahn than it ever could be put from Kenneth Price. No accident that Matt Kahn came because he's the solution. It's not a place to live.
Sorry. Phone's ringing.
I love what you said, Kenneth.
I don't remember what I said. You see, this is what happens when I get out of the way. Something comes through me that which must apparently beloved said it sounded wise. Apparently I needed to hear it, and that's the reason I record these, so I can go back and replay what I said, because it's for this man who's been, you know, here it is, 12:42 on a Sunday afternoon, and I've been in bed with a, you know, hot pad for days, you know, trying to play Mr. Stoic, you know. Oh, I'll be fine, so I can get up and I can, you know, build that basement door, so I can build those front back porch steps, so I can do that rewiring. You know what? I think I would probably be better off to be like, you know, the example Byron Katie used with that participant. You know, can you visualize yourself on the street corner? Thank goodness you don't have to do those jobs, Kenneth. Thank goodness you've got a slip disc, so you don't have to do those jobs, so you can notice what's in front of you. This is a whole new way of thinking. We're being dismantled, and we have to allow ourselves to be dismantled. There's nothing wrong with wanting to pursue our dreams, but when but it's kind of like that Bible, you know, I don't know what scripture it is. If you can knock on that door and slightly give it a nudge, but don't push it. You know, don't try and break the door down. It's supposed to open gently.
Yeah, I've been really stuck in fear, especially the last 3 weeks, realizing that like, oh, nobody's accepting my application, and oh my God, I'm supposed to go finish school, and all I feel is anger. I don't feel the fear. It's so much that it just goes right to anger, the secondary emotion. And I'm pushing everybody away. Like, you know, like, you're not helping me. So, you know, you don't care if I'm about to be homeless. So I don't need your help. I don't want your advice. Just leave me alone. And now I'm on my own. And, you know, I see everything that's happening, but it's like, wow.
I love how you just said that, because that's what it does. you could have pushed away your help. That's what I'm saying. You can't access it in this state. Surrender. What does that look like? And what I love about this, Kathy, is that, the next time we're confronted with a situation, it's the same process. There's no order of difficulty. Whether it could be anything. Oh, I got diagnosed with cancer. Oh, I can't find a place to live. Oh, my discus, who knows, right? But it's called, the ego's always going to have some situation for you. Now's the time to learn how to master it so it doesn't happen the next time, the next situation. This is going to be solved. It's going to be resolved. But next month, next 2 weeks, is it going to be something? Now it's going to be a new thing that, see what I'm saying? You don't want to be on that wheel. That's up and down. It's so, I hate that. And I'm just speaking for me because I got sucked into this. Ego's going to give me this. And then I'm so disappointed. No, it's a setup. All this is a setup. It's a setup for us to grow through and bloom and welcome it. What if you said, Kathy and Ken's right now, oh, thank you. I can't wait to see what happens. This is such an exciting predicament. What's going to happen next? Really, that is life. We don't know. Anything is possible. This is a crazy, chaotic world, honey. Anything is possible to happen at this moment. Anything. So it's not the outer thing. It has nothing to do with your state of mind right now. That's what we all got to realize. It ain't the slip disc that's making you mad, and it ain't the goddamn situation that you find. None of that is. It's in your head that's making you mad. It's all in our head that's making us crazy. The outside world doesn't even exist. And, that's what you said. You said, Kenneth, she can change her perception. That's what we're here to do. There is a perception that is helpful, that leads us out of fear. The other stuff is projections that just keeps us in the illusion and feeds it. So we want to break out of it, and it's worth it. This, Kenneth Kavanaugh says, welcome. What does it feel like if you welcome it? That blew my mind. Why would I welcome this bullshit? Well, okay, let me try. It's here, right? Apparently. What? Let's welcome it. Let's walk with our eyes open. Let's not be cowering in a fucking corner like we're 3. We're not. Where we can grow up. We take Jesus' hand. Take whoever hand is strong that you feel you could. I don't do all this stuff, but I just talk to myself because I know it's not true. And I'm in some kind of mental illness state. And I want to be sane. Sanity. It's truth, but I'll call it sanity for non-religious words.
It has to be private for us. And this is a moment. There's some background, Kathy, or beloved. I don't know where the background's coming from. This is the reason I host these every Sunday morning, is we've got to bring ourselves back over and over and over. And I think what our message here this morning is, we've got to, I've got to drop those jobs. You've got to drop the schooling, and we've got to prioritize coming back to center. We're not going to, this is what they told me in treatment. They said, I don't remember the specific exercise, but I know I'll kind of wrap up the Zoom call with this one example, because, we're running close to the hour, but this real wise counselor put us all in a circle, and she said, I want you to write on 4 pieces of paper the 4 most valuable things in your life. So they would write down, their wife, their kids, their parents. Some people go, maybe their job, or, different things that were very valuable to them. And she said, now hold these 4 pieces of paper in your hand. And she had this big, pot in the middle of the circle. And she said, now put it into the pot. it's not an exact example of her specific exercise, but the point she was trying to make is she said, without your recovery, you're not going to have any of these things. What she wanted us to know is that unless we prioritize, back then it was recovery from alcohol and drugs. That's the way the 12-step program is engineered. But until we get connected to spirit first, you know, you're not going to have an education. I'm not going to have any of those jobs either. It's just not going to happen. I join you in coming back to center. Purpose is the only choice.
The way I get closest to source is through song. That's just my thing. That's how it's done with me. Could be prayer, it could be whatever, just getting emotions out of the way, expressing.
Do it, girl. Do it. You can have it now. You can feel better now. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to wait for somebody to say, Kathy, I got a place for you. You're going to get so happy. And guess what? It's another setup. Because then the place is going to be fucked up and you're going to hate it more than you hate this apartment here. You see what I'm saying? You don't let yourself be held ransom. That's not, you're worthy. You're worthy of all your happiness now. You don't have to be held hostage to anything outside of you. That's what we're trying to say. None of us do. We can't be held to those things that Kenneth said that you put in the pot. Don't be held hostage. We don't know what's the best for us. We really don't know. We value what's valueless. You know, like if I don't have a sane mind, nothing else works in my life. Let me tell you, nothing else is worth it. I can't even enjoy it. I can't reap the fruits of my labor to joy and happiness. This is all what it's for. We're worthy.
My problem is I don't have the, I don't know, the discipline, I guess, to do all these things. Like, my life has been so chaotic, you know, on and off, all that crazy medication. And now that I'm finally okay, I know what I want. My soul does not want to be here in Ottawa at all. It's time to go. It's time to flee the nest. And that's it. I'm going to couch surf.
And you'll be guided.
That's my plan. And then hopefully something will happen when I'm there. But I don't know, like my ego, my whatever, I don't know. It's confusing, but like I left the program because I got off my medication for the first time and whatever, went crazy. And now 18 years later, I just want to go back and finish and be immersed in music and be in a structure where I'm not all over the place. I'm able to, you know, do you know what I mean? I feel like I need that structure of, you know, a musical container where I can just flourish and get out of this fucking fear. I really believe that if I'm in that situation, it's gonna help me become more grounded and do what I love doing every single day. And that's it. That's all I know right now. That's all I know. And to surrender, I don't know how. I don't know how, because it feels like that's where my soul needs to be.
Surrender doesn't mean to give up. I'm just saying surrender the fear. Surrender having to know how it's going to work. The mind is not made, your brain isn't made to know. The brain, you're made to deal with what's now. And you already have it in your guidance that this is what feeds you and brings you joy. And believe me, the whole universe conspires to bring you that. You just don't know how. So you don't know how. And now you're suffering because you don't know how. That's what you're suffering. So it's, that's all we're saying is this suffering right now is so horrible. I hate it for you, Kathy. I hate it for you. And you're beautiful. I hope you can feel better and get to a frequency where you can find comfort.
Yeah,
and faith.
I can't allow this Zoom call to be about problem solving. It's a fine line between expression, and the expressions are beautiful, if it goes in the arena of problem solving, then I need to, steer it
There's
back.
no problem. The problem is lack of faith. I mean, again, it's not outside of us. We think the problem's outside of us, but it's not. It's an inside job. I don't think we're talking about any specific things. We're not talking about, Kenneth, how you're gonna get your disc back and how you're gonna get. It's not about that. It's really, any of us can find ourselves in any situation where terror reigns, and the terror is coming from you, not the situation. And only you can stop the terrorist. That's what I'm saying. And when you can't, that is, yeah, you're mentally ill. You need some mind training. It's hard to be disciplined, just like it's hard to start a fitness program or hard to start eating healthy. So let's start with baby steps. Don't beat yourself up. Don't cry, throw your tantrum, but it is about the choice we have here now. We're choosing not to stay where you don't want to be. That's the gift here. The gift here is you don't have to stay there. And nothing has to change outside of you for that. You just don't have to get better. Your housing doesn't have to improve. My life doesn't, whatever problems I was complaining about don't have to be fixed. None of that. The healing's here. The healing is the ocean. The healing is the connection. The healing is the wholeness.
Let's wrap it up on that. I want to compartmentalize what I heard. This is going to be rough because I'm going to have to speak for myself, but it landed for myself and it came out of Beloved's mouth. We're mentally ill, we're undisciplined, and we need mind training. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but since it's psychiatric sobriety, we have to admit first, and once we admit, then the resources will come in. Okay, I had to come out and say it because I'm determined. Emergence is my priority also. It's Kenneth Price on Sunday, August 27th with Beloved and Kathy. Hey, listen, you guys, this was a hard Zoom call for me. Okay, but if it were easy, everybody would do it. So I want to thank you both for being my miracle on a Sunday afternoon here on the East Coast. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave your comments below. Okay, I operate from feedback, but even more than the feedback, I need participation. This ministry is beginning to go into a sort of a very low altitude holding pattern. So if this is something that you feel is resonating and you would like to support, yeah, it would be great to have a donation, but it would be even greater to have a participation. So I'm just going to leave it at that. God bless, and may the force be with you.